who's from Brazil, who has a completely different take on the new leader of Brazil. Like, he's more positive about it. And then I've talked to other people that say he's a monster.
Yeah. I mean, if people in Brazil are living through the current chaos, I can understand why they might go to a Duterte-type figure to say it's going to be messy, but he's going to clean it up.
Right.
But he certainly seems like a monster.
Yeah, and they're experiencing some crazy economic crisis as well, right?
Yeah, and it was the fastest growing economy in Latin America. It was booming.
Yeah, it was just booming just a few years ago.
Yeah,
so it's like this roller coaster ride.
We did a film there recently, and I might get the numbers slightly wrong, but the amount of people that were murdered in Brazil in 2017, I believe it was more than double the amount that were murdered in Syria.
Jesus Christ.
I think it was 72,000.
Yeah.
And after the World Cup and Olympics, the trafficking gangs and the police militias just retook all of those areas that were pacified to protect the tourists during the World Cup and Olympics. So that violence has just come right back to the favelas.
See, again, there's just so much shit to pay attention to.
Yeah. And Rio, the image of Rio is still, samba on the beach. And,
I've been a few times.
Right.
Yeah, I've been for UFC events. It's beautiful people, very nice, very friendly.
But then you go 2 or 3 miles up into the hills. Yeah. It's another world.
Well, we drove, when you land at the airport, you drive through the favelas on the way to Rio, and you're like, whoa, this is a different kind of poverty.
And during the World Cup and Olympics, they put billboards next to that road to block the view of the favelas.
Did they really?
And those billboards are now starting to fall apart, and you can now see in again. Yeah.
Wow.
And you can hear it if you stay close to there. You'll hear it. I mean, we went into the favelas many times. We saw one guy who was suspected of being a police informer. So the trafficking gangs had captured him, slashed at his leg, so he was lying on the ground, put 4 rifles to his head, and just unloaded. And his chin was still kind of where it should be, but everything else was...
This is when you got there while...
We got there right afterwards, sorry. No, we didn't witness it happening. We got there right afterwards. But yeah, it's I mean, hideous violence there on a massive scale. Yeah. And also, I got into an argument with someone the other day about this. Deeply racist. The rich people in Ipanema tend to be white European descendants. The poor kids getting shot in the favelas are almost all black. And if you walk into a bar in Ipanema with a black girl, everyone will assume she's a prostitute. If you walk into a bar in Ipanema with a black guy, everyone will assume he's a drug dealer. And again, the exact opposite of the public image of Brazil.
Ipanema is the more wealthy area, because there is...
That's the very wealthy, nice beach area with all the nice hotels and apartment blocks.
But they still must get robbed all the time down there, right?
It used to be that the violence was separated from the really rich areas, but there are now a lot of wealthy Brazilians leaving because it's affecting everywhere now. I mean, one of the experts we interviewed in the last film said, I believe it was 1 in 3 Rio residents will get caught in crossfire at some point over the course of a year. I might be wrong on that. I believe it was 1 in 3.
A year?
Yeah, but it was a massive number. Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. I mean, if you're anywhere near a favela, you'll hear it most nights. You'll hear shots being fired most nights. And not like boom, boom, boom. You'll hear a fight going on.
Jesus Christ. How much time do you spend over there?
3 weeks, I believe it was.
Wow. And what are you covering?
We did a film about the pacification campaign, the police and army clearing the favelas before the World Cup and Olympics. So we went back just to see...
Just to sort of illuminate it for people to think that this is what Brazil is actually like.
And see what happened afterwards.
Right.
And those areas were abandoned as soon as the World Cup and Olympics were over.